Good morning. Welcome to Educators Drinking Coffee. I have a little bit of echo here because I have my other camera kind of faced. This is Juan Castillo, assistant principal, coming out of Pasquotank County High School. Hopefully, please let me know. Make sure you all can hear me. This is Wednesday, October.
I don't need anything to eat. That's $5 to help with your
Gosh, I forgot. October 7th, I believe. So anyways, welcome. Good morning. I am drinking my coffee today's freshly brewed Folgers Colombian, which was brought to us by Sergeant Coffee. For those of you that don't know, let me show you. We have what's called Waffle Wednesday here at school. So I'm going to put this. So that is the noise you hear back there. We have Mr. Cherry, Master Sergeant Coffee, and Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, there you go. Wave to the crowd. Sergeant Coffee. Actually, right there, the other camera's over there too. But you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
There you go.
Sergeant Coffee without the beard.
So they're taking, yes, right here on the tripod. So there you go. Yeah, it is. It's filming towards the waffle area. So, and now I can see you back here. So anyways, that's how we roll here. Anyways, Mr. Lee is really taking upon himself to every Wednesday, or not every Wednesday, but I think about almost once or twice a month to have waffles for our staff members. We continue to follow social distancing. We have one door that comes in and the other door where they exit, maintaining gloves, and everything really being sanitized. So Waffle Wednesdays for any staff member that's here. Thank you. So anyways, good morning. This morning, hopefully I will have Ms. Antoinette Reid hopefully join us this morning, our ECPPS Student Services Director. And also she works with the Family and Community Resource Center as she's the director for that program, that center. So no, really, we're just, let me get a sip of coffee here. Just happy to keep broadcasting here every Wednesday. We may have to move our broadcast, as many of you know, our school board has passed now the new schedule for upcoming. So our elementary schools are going to be coming back earlier this, I believe in October. The middle schools, the first week of November, and then I think the beginning of the second week for high schools. So our schedule for the high school here will be Monday and Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays is going to be our complete remote day, and then Thursday and Fridays. So Waffle Wednesdays, we will not be able to transmit on Wednesday. Waffle Wednesdays, Educators Drinking Coffee will not be able to transmit during Wednesdays, as that is the deep cleaning day for the school. So we're going to go ahead and move this. I haven't figured out which other day we're going to do it, and maybe probably a Tuesday or Thursday that we do our broadcast. So, but I guess I'll go ahead and just talk a little bit about, because what I wanted to talk to Ms. Reid, and when she gets a chance, hopefully she can join us. The Family Community Resource Center, it's a really good resource for parents. It really helps give you resources and tools that you need to help your child be successful. It gives you a lot of support, strategies as a parent to help your child, especially during these times, ways you can help them to learn at home. The ultimate goal is to make your child be successful. So please take a look go to our district website and look for the Family and Community Resource Center. It's great. Again, it's led by Ms. Antoinette Reid, the director. She's also the Student Services Director. So just make sure you take a look at that. Oh, good morning, Madre. Thank you for stopping by. One thing I wanted to try to do, and I know, not everybody watches this in the morning, but takes a peek later on, so I don't want to get too far. I'm going to try to start a contest here. This is a little mason jar here. It's probably about 5 to 6 inches tall and about 3.5 inches wide, and it's filled with marbles. It's got mostly in small marbles. As you can see, there is a larger one right here. So what I want folks to do, now I realize some of you are really far away, it's going to be hard, but those of you that are in this area, I will have a small prize, but if you can guess how many marbles are in this jar. The way I will take your entries are by posting either on by your comments on YouTube or Facebook. We want to try to raise our comments. So take a guess about how many marbles are in here. Like I mentioned, there are small and large marbles in here, this mason jar. So your entries, I need all entries by the end of the week, by this Friday. And then we'll figure out who is. Right, Mr. Stanley, believes there are 60. Excellent. Thank you for being the first one to take a guess. Some of you that see me, I will not count it unless you posted it on our Facebook or YouTube. That's how your entry will go. So Mr. Young says 85. So we're off to a good start. Just wanted to, let's see. I think Miss Reid may be coming. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to remove this one. Good morning, Miss Reid. You are live.
Good morning.
Oh, how you doing?
Fine. How about you?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Thank you for joining us. I know you're super busy during these times now that the board has chosen to kind of get us back to school and trying to get all these things ready. So I appreciate just a little bit of your time. Thank you again. Are you drinking anything this morning? Because this is Educators Drinking Coffee.
Well, I have water. As a matter of fact, let me get it.
Okay.
There we go.
So you say, is it water you said?
Yes.
Okay, good. I mean, we all do. I drink, how much do you try to drink throughout the day?
My goal is usually about 100, well, a gallon, really, a gallon.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say.
I don't always make it, but that's what I strive for every day.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. It's good to these times. I think more than ever we need goals like that. So let me just kind of go that route. What do you do to take care of yourself? Because that's something you also involve very much so in the district. So what do you personally do to take care of yourself during these remote times?
I have started to work out a little more, and I read. Like in the morning, I read a daily bread, and I read
Mm-hmm.
scripture. And I just spend some time reflecting,
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I keep reminding myself that one of my mentors had told me along the way of my career, even though sometimes you have a lot of tasks and responsibilities, but all you can do is all you can do.
Yeah.
And that's the way I try to look at it,
I agree. I mean, having conversations with some folks, we can only control the things that we can. We can't stress over the things we can't.
Right.
It's easier said than done, but we do have to think about that because and I've shared this in the past, at the beginning of this whole thing back in the spring, I felt like I had so much time to think, which normally you would think that is great, but it became to a point where I was super analyzing everything. And I'll tell people, like, I got in a semi-state of somewhat of depression, just thinking too much, and worrying about this and that, and worrying about stuff that I could not control. And so we actually, I think you were part of that. One of the things I think Dr. Edmonds. Oh.
Good morning, staff. Just a reminder, today is Waffle Wednesday. Please stop by Mr. Lee's classroom to pick up a waffle for today. He still has plenty left. Thank you.
Today's Waffle Wednesday, so I'm going to actually show this a little bit again. There's Mr. Lee over there dancing. So he is getting the waffles ready. We already had quite a few people come by and pick up their waffles, but no, it's we intended to think about taking care of ourselves. I can't remember the name of the gentleman who talked about his story, but I had to do something. I had to change, and I actually started exercising, having a routine in the morning just to get my day going. But good. I'm glad you do those things. You read your daily bread, and all that kind of stuff. Now let's I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. You are the Student Services Director, also the Director of the Family and Community Resource Center. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up where you're at now?
Well, prior to this position, from what I understand, I never really had it really, laid out for me, but prior to this position, I was an elementary principal at one of our low performing elementary schools. And it had, and I had only completed one full year, because when I went there April 2nd. It was like 2017, I want to say.
Gotcha.
So I finished out the last 6 weeks of the school year. And then that following year was my first complete year. And then I left there that following November. The interim superintendent at the time was saying that they didn't have anybody in the parent center, and that the board had wanted to turn that position, which at first was a coordinator and an assistant position, because the parent center was originally managed by 2 persons, as it had been, in the years, past when it was first established.
Yeah.
But at that current time, when I was principal, it was just sitting there. It was closed because one of the other persons had been moved to HR. The person who was a coordinator had been moved to HR as an HR assistant. So that left the parent center assistant in there by herself. Well, during that time, not long after that, the person who was the coordinator for the after school programs, she resigned and accepted a bookkeeper's position at one of the high schools. So the person that was left in the parent center moved into that position. So that left the parent center open. And because part of our Title I monies, we do get a chunk of that money for family engagement. But family engagement wasn't working like as far as that parent center. It was closed, it was shut down. So the board wanted to turn that position into a director's position. And one of the things that the interim superintendent, mentioned to me during that time, my mom was terminally ill. And so I was going back and forth mainly on weekends. And sometimes I would take days off to go see her, even for the week, to spend that time. Because that's one thing I got to give her. She did stress, family comes first. Mm-hmm. So it took a lot of thinking about it, because I didn't want to lead staff, lead my kids and everything, But it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. Like this year, this is my 35th year. So I already knew that I didn't want to retire as a principal, because being a school principal now is not what it's all that it's cracked up to be. I mean, there are some rewards, but it could be very stressful. I didn't realize how stressed I was until I left the position.
Oh, I know. I have it here. I have a lot of it.
Yeah. And so the rest is history. Now, once we got a new superintendent, she came to me with the idea of Director of Student Services. And so with Director of Student Services, family engagement became one of the things that I do. I'm also the child care administrator for the after school programs. I'm the administrator over that. I'm the district contact person for school counselors, an officer for long-term suspensions. I am the district's safety point of contact. I'm one of the co-coordinators of our health and Safety and Security Council. I am the program manager for JCPC. And I also work with HR whenever there's parent requests for student transfers. So I work with that. I think I covered everything.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And you know, I really am glad, especially with because I actually had got one of the pamphlets that we have here from the Family Community Center, that we do have somebody like yourself that's been in education, has had all the different levels, all the way up to school administrator, to lead something like this, because you know more than anybody how critical it is to involve parents, and even some of our conversations that we've had, to be able to provide strategies, resources for parents to really help their kids become successful. And that is ultimately what the goal of everything we do, but especially also the Family and Community Resource Center.
Yes. Now that pamphlet, is that pamphlet current? Because I had done a new pamphlet.
I'm going to throw under the bus, but Miss Story, who works in our student services, I saw she had this, and she told me this was the new one. So,
yeah,
she does say good morning. She did say
that's okay. Well, that's not the one that I had done, because the one that I had done, while I had that time during my first year in the Parent Center, when I was just with family engagement, I had constructed, might as well like an informal district plan for family engagement, and it included the vision, mission, and goals.
Gotcha. Yeah. But no, I mean, it's definitely the goals here is providing parents the opportunity to to request additional support. I know we've been talking even to expanding it to different areas. So I'm really glad about that. So I guess moving forward, I guess tell us a little bit more about what the Family Community Resource Center does for parents, because that's something I think we also need to continue to share with our families.
Well, right now, the biggest thing that we are doing for parents is trying to strengthen the lines of communication and the support. One of the goals this year is to make sure, because we do have such a large Hispanic population, non-English speaking families in our school district. We are trying to make sure that we do a better job at communicating, with them, and which means with all of our parents, and providing the support. And as far as the Family and Community Resource Center, we don't just want to be a center and continue to be a district that just continue the traditional way of involving parents by providing them with a bunch of resources for them to read through. We want to work on building relationships, partnerships. So one of the things that the Family and Community Engagement Center is continuing to do this year, we are sponsoring and co-sponsoring with schools, because I've already shared that with the school counselors that I being the director of family and community engagement, want to co-sponsor some of this, work with them, partner with them with some of their school events, so that the community can begin to see the Family Community Resource Center not as a separate entity, but as a part of what we do for educating our children in Elizabeth City, Pasquotank Public Schools.
I agree. I mean, I think the school building itself, and you've heard this thing where it takes a village, and that's part of that. And know that, I guess for me, I think of, from my perspective, is for parents to know that all the resources aren't here just at the school building. There's there's a plethora of stuff out there, and then the family and community resource center is another great venue and resource center that really can provide for so many other things to continue the education of their kids. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have anything coming in the future that the community center is working to do?
Yes, well, currently, what I also neglected to mention, after my first year in the center, and this started last year, one of the things that the center was providing to schools were Title I parent newsletters through the Parent Institute. And at first, we were giving out letters just to the elementary school and the middle school. But the subscription we were using, it was the same subscription for elementary and middle school. So being an educator who been through elementary, middle school, I've never done high school, but I have been an adjunct professor. So I work with that age group in a sense of speaking over the years. But we now have 3 subscriptions. We have one for pre-K elementary. We have that's the home connection letter. We have the middle years for our middle schools, and we also have the high school years for our high school. And we also included our community school in that, as well as the early college. So all of our students and parents have access to those monthly tips. In addition to that, and that's in English and Spanish.
Awesome.
Okay, those letters are in English and Spanish. And this year, I'm glad to see that we have a Twitter page. When I first started in this position working with family engagement, we only had 23 followers. Now we have 421 to be exact as of yesterday. But we are, it's still kind of hard to tell. And that's one of the things we're working with IT to see how many of our parents are actually, following us and utilizing what is put up there. But we do put daily parent e-tip messages. That's done daily, Monday through Friday on the Twitter page, and it's embedded into our district webpage link, which I'm working with one of our technology people in the district to give our webpage a new face. It's going to be student services, and family engagement would be like the center of it.
Gotcha.
That in English and Spanish, so that's new. We only had that the English version for the daily parent tips, but we now have that in English and Spanish. Another thing that we are looking at is possibly partnering with Panorama and trying to come up with different surveys that's going to help us not only to gather data on how well we are engaging parents and how they deem the relationships are between schools and home, but also looking at barriers that may come into play regarding family engagement, and also the SEL piece. So we're hoping to partner, a little more closely with them, which of course is going to get into some spending. So I have another meeting set up with them. Had one yesterday, very, very productive meeting. And so I have another meeting scheduled set up with them. I believe it's November 4th, sometime during the first week of November, I believe. And I've invited our MTSS coordinator and our PBIS coordinator because, with the MTSS framework, family engagement is a chunk of that, of the framework, as well as with school improvement plans. There is a piece on family engagement. Every school has a section in their school improvement plan that goes at their working towards with that. So that is one of the things that I'm hoping that the Family Community Resource Center can do, is be a better asset to the schools in coming up with goals and action steps that, of course, align with the goals that we are trying to manage at the district level. Let's build an alignment. And also the parent electronic resource library. I'm looking into reestablishing that, where there will be pamphlets on different topics like bullying, different trauma, the things that surveys that we have issued thus far. I'm looking to sort through what kinds of pamphlet information, brochures that can be offered that's going to really be beneficial to our parents. In addition to that, we also have some links for free online interactive resources in reading, math, and science for all grades, K-12. So those are on the Parent Center website. But I also want to get more materials in that parents can actually come in and check out.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
So that's something that I want to do, because that's one of the things that I really admired when I was a teacher, when we had the Parent Center going years ago, that parents could go in and actually check out book bags for their younger kids, and different resources that they could use to work with their children, not just to remediate, but to help to accelerate.
That's right. That's right.
Our plans,
Awesome. No, and you guys already, this year, we worked together with Title I and to do the how to navigate your students' technology. We've done, did it both in English and Spanish. So thanks for your support on that. But all right, so we're coming up here towards the end, because I know I'm actually in Mr. Lee, our art teacher's classroom, and I know he starts class in just a few minutes, so I don't want to be broadcasting while he starts live. But I do want to thank you. I think anytime, if there's anything coming up and you want to come on, let me know. I was telling folks that, because we are coming back to school pretty much in the next month, our educators drinking coffee is probably going to switch to a different day, only because Wednesdays is cleaning day. That's going to be here at school. So we do appreciate, but anytime, if you want to promote anything, please, let me know, stop by. I do want to remind some folks, I have a little raffle here going about how many marbles are in this jar. So the only way I'm going to take an entry is if you post it on our broadcast. So we already have a few. Ms. Melanie Norman said it's about 170, Mr. Young 80, and Mr. Stanley said there was 60. So you guys have till the end of the week to let me know, and I do have a prize for you all for the one who gets closest without going over. So again, I do want to thank you again, Ms. Reid, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for letting us know, for everything going on with the Family and Community Resource Center. Do appreciate it. Take a look at it. Go to the district webpage. There's so much there to offer. And I know, you're open for suggestions too on how else we can continue to help our community better. So thank you again. And I will see you next week on Educators Drinking Coffee. Thank you.
Bye-bye.